Pisces, welcome back to another edition of your zodiac sign and what I see coming through for you. Buckle up, it's going to be interesting. Now, for those of you that don't know, I am an astrologer, I am a psychic medium, and I also use the holistic approaches to guide you through your month-by-month energy. I have condensed this update for you, for your zodiac sign, to make it more palatable. Number one is the 5 big transits that are happening that you need to be aware of and how they directly link to you. And then we go further into the read, which covers your romance house, tips I have for you, career, wealth, wellness, and anything more. So the first 5, first of all, we are having a full moon in Capricorn on the 3rd of July. Now, take note of this moon because we did last month have Pluto in the house of Aquarius and it transitioned back into the house of Capricorn. It will do its final wrap up. It will be sitting there pretty much till 2025, back and forward between both houses. But it is at its critical degree. So this moon can be quite intense indeed, but I'll tell you where it hits for you. The next new moon is Cancer, and it's going to be on the 17th of July. Brand new beginning. Definitely, we do have Juno in the house of Cancer at the moment. So we can have themes towards mother, home, inner emotions. It can be an emotional point, but both Capricorn and Cancer are the axis, the shadow sign to each other. So we can be looking at both of those polarities. Venus last month did move into the house of Leo. We might have started feeling that energy. And I have seen, even at a predictive level, that when a major transit is happening, we can tend to see it the month before. So definitely this month with Venus moving into the first day of the month, we're going to feel that shadow. We also will have it move retrograde on the 23rd, but I'll go into a deeper context of that. And nodes also are going to shift. They are currently in the house of Taurus and Scorpio. We can have some alleviation of that south node energy. So particularly in that Scorpionic energy and with the moon in Capricorn and Pluto there, we can have some big changes happening in that dynamic. They're then going to move into the house of Aries, which collectively is a personal house. It's the first house, but then it has its own addition to where it sits inside your chart, which I'll go again into deeper context of. It is also a Mars energy. We can deem it as the planet of war, but it's also assertiveness. It's courage, it's conviction, it's getting things done, it's jumping in the deep end. Chiron also will be going retrograde, but the nodes will shift prior to that. So my prediction would be some nervousness, apprehension. We could be going into things quite boldly, although the other transits surrounding it could be asking us to look before we leap. But let's have a look at the full moon. So the full moon for your zodiac sign occurring on the 3rd of July, as mentioned, it will be to do with hierarchy. Moon can relate to family and home. It can be our inner emotions. There is a wrap up here. Now, full moons in general are intense. Definitely because we do have Leo there this month with Venus. We have seen in the collective since last month certain leaders resigning, handing things down, going into retirement, so that is a potential as well. For you individually, this does link to your 11th house. This can be a wrap up to do with maybe a job, a project. It can be a social endeavor, a hope, a dream. This also could be a friendship group. This could be like catching up with old friends. And I do really feel a big debt also could be paid off. So it could be that something that you've been working on comes to a close. I would also say, paying a debt off because it can be 11th house of wealth. Separately, it can be if you are working in a management position and you feel like it's just not serving you. Some of you could look at a new way of doing things in your 11th house, which can be if you're doing anything for the public, free of charge. Also, it could be in large groups. There could be a wrap up with it. So again, it can be quite intense. You can also be looking at the monetary aspect of life and what's working and what's not, and making a change in that domain. Whenever we have a full moon, it is ushering in a brand new beginning. And what you will be working on from this full moon in Capricorn till the next new moon in Capricorn, will be bringing new energy into your 11th house placement. So this doesn't have to be a negative thing. It's clearing the slate. It can be intense. And yeah, new chapters are coming here. As we do move towards, and for some of you, yes, I would say you could go into management. So it could be you're moving into management. You're going up the level, so an ending of one role of being and a new beginning of another. The new moon in Cancer on the 17th of July, 2023. By this stage, we would have had the nodes move, okay? And the nodes for you do link to your second house. So a lot of attention is going to be on your wealth creation, your confidence, your assertiveness. And it's also going to be on money management, increasing your wealth, increasing your net worth. You can be networking with individuals, be it's at work, professional resources, going back to old energies, but also realizing your worth, realizing that your attention is going to go onto your net worth. So there is a potential over the next, I would say 18 months where you're really going to be honing in on that. That can be savings plans, buying new assets, upgrading. This can be land, material value, but definitely big changes in that area. So the nodes would have shifted. Chiron at this point wouldn't have gone retrograde. So if you do have this worry war energy, it's like, what am I going to do? Do I go left? Do I go right? You're going to find in your psyche the reason why maybe there has been a blockage there. So pause for that, but nevertheless, big, brand new chapters in that domain. With the new moon in Cancer, it can bring a subject up surrounding children, family, creativity. I would say this month is a really good month to be physical. Be it's power workouts, it's ways to get grounded, it's getting into the garden. This also can be a time where you can be quite social on home front, surrounding yourself with individuals that you feel very safe with, cleaning up the home, beautifying it. It is the 5th house, so it can be quite creative, but it can be gardening. This also can be quite a romantic time, but it can be a wrap up in a circumstance as well, and a new beginning. Definitely, I do feel emotions can be heightened. Jupiter also in the house of Taurus links to your 3rd house. So you could really be looking at the bigger picture. If you are feeling quite stagnant and stifled, you're going to want to have a bit more play. But there also could be a time where we are clearing home. We are, getting into a more grounded approach. And there can be some new chapters for those of you that have children happening in their life. There can be people moving in, people moving out. You could directly be looking at, again, beautifying your home, what the value is. The other thing is hosting parties. There is a potential, but romance also can be very emotional. This also can bring about pregnancy, so be cautious if that's something you're not ready for. Venus retrograde, top tips. Is it good to link to people of the past? Yes, it's fine. Navigate it. This isn't. It's almost like an audit system of all things Venus. Food, money, values, beliefs, connections, partnerships, contracts. For you, Leo lands in your 6th house. Okay, this can be, how is my eating? How is my routine? Am I burning myself out? Do I feel in relationships I'm doing everything? Is this making me healthy? Is this relationship healthy? Am I worried this person will leave me? How do I view relationships? It is Venus. It can be quite passionate as it does follow through into mid-month. And the reason is if Jupiter likes to expand things, so if we are looking at your routine and everything you're doing, Jupiter is giving you a lot more work this year. And it's there for until next year. So Jupiter's sitting in Taurus till next year. It's still a Venus sign. Thus the reason we're talking about Venus retrograde. Venus also sitting in the house of Leo, links to your 6th house. There's your routine is expanding. Okay, this can be a lot of travel. This can be long distance travel, short travel, a lot of conversations, a lot of paperwork, a lot of day-to-day routine. So busy, but it's also the devil in the detail. Some of you could also get a new vehicle, but I would say communication is going to be the key. During Venus retrograde, these things will be assessed. I would also say, because it is retrograding, to care for your wellness. Now, at a collective level, how we can look at navigating Venus retrograde is if we're wanting to change our hair, our diet. It's being playful with it, doing things that fit into our routine, being really honest with ourselves, especially because Saturn and Neptune are physically retrograde in Pisces in your zodiac sign. So when they're retrograde, initially it can come through a little bit toxically, and we can feel a bit disillusioned. It's like, what am I doing? Am I on track? Am I getting anywhere? Do I have too much on my plate? And it can be quite psychological, right? Because it's retrograde, it's going to pull the pressure back a bit. So you can look in realistically and go, okay, is this sustainable? What I'm doing, how I'm reacting, how I'm navigating. So that's one key influence. Then we have the Venus energy. So I would particularly say for your zodiac sign, where it does come to life, which we'll get into that in a moment, would be as Mars moves into Virgo, be careful, okay? It can be A, passionate, or it can be aggressive. So pre-warned, forearmed. Mars, as mentioned, does move out of Leo, which is currently in your 6th house. You're going to be busy, busy, busy. Don't burn out. Stretch. Look after yourself. If you are hitting the gym, stretch. Look after yourself. You also are going to have a very analytical mind. This position, I always pre-warn individuals. Virgo is a very detailed zodiac sign. Mars, however, is like, we need to get in and get it done. Now, for you in your 6th house, you do have Leo there. So this can be you looking at your wellness, doing too much, getting burnt out, being critical of yourself. It also could be that you're so busy, you're having to do a lot of people's work. And the key to success in this notion is, this happens all the time with this placement, no matter where it is in someone's chart, the key to it is you are very good at this. You're very good at routine. You're very good at structure. But are you doing other people's jobs? Sometimes it's unavoidable. Sometimes it can physically be, and it's for a short burst here. So it's going to be very active. Be aware. So try to keep your month organized so that when Mars transitions into this sector, you're prepared for it and you're not overwhelmed and burdened. You will be being very honest, and there could be some reworkings of things, and it might need quick thinking. You might also have some headaches because it is third eye. It can be higher heart chakra as well. So just be aware of this area, but you're going to want to be very logical. So think, look at it, stop, react, and that will guide you through. North Node shifts, as mentioned. We have had the North Node in Taurus and the South Node in Scorpio. Now, that's going to be active till about the 12th. And then we can have both of those energies playing out still, even though the nodes will be moving. It's almost like the quality assurance. It's like, okay, we're alleviated now in that South Node, which was Scorpio. Thus the reason I said that a lot of areas for you, they can be like lightening up to a degree. And for you particularly, it can be to do with siblings. It can be to do with children. It might be you need a holiday and you want a holiday and you haven't had it. This could be needing to upskill when you're completing a course, and now finally you can use that course for something. Management, advertising, travel involved, that is changing. So now being able to achieve those things that you wanted to do, your values, your beliefs, connections with family, with a sibling, that all can go to a different level. Now, with it moving signs, we are going to be having the North Node in Aries. I do have a blog online. You are welcome to go to my website. I have all the links directly below. That dives deeper. For you, this North Node for around 18 months is going to bring the subject matter of your 2nd house of money and wealth. It's money, wealth, confidence, courage, building of your net worth. It can be networking with individuals, meeting key people for career, buying land, increasing your savings account, increasing your physical income. What you are moving away from that apparently they believe we are comfortable in for your zodiac sign is Libra. For 18 months, for this section here to change, the key to it will be the North Node. And so they do theoretically completely change the whole way through this cycle. The eclipses then will hit these areas to create even more growth and change. But I definitely can say that you will be looking at, okay, wealth creation, how do I grow it? Where is my confidence at? Eating, all of that. It's all the second house, but increases in the people you need in your life, bringing those people into your world, your assets. It could be that you're going to be buying things and you have a goal for that. The South Node on this occasion is very much linked to Venus retrograde as well. So this is going to be a very interesting month. And it's really going to aid us during Venus retrograde to assess this. Libra for you does link to the 8th house. This can be debt. This can be, when we look at the 8th house, it can be inheritances. It can be, but it's going to the South Node. So it's like, it's okay. Other people's money, tax, debt, legacies, inheritances, the healthy codependency. It can be your partner's money. So now it's going to be on your side of the fence in order to have that stability, because 8th house can be stability. You're going to move towards the 2nd house. And this can be the way you earn as well, the way you're generating, the way you're looking after your savings accounts, etc. But definitely there can be some changes happening in your partner's income, be it as a contract or a partnership, and it's moving to the North Node, and the way you invest as well. Now, Chiron in Aries will then move retrograde on the 23rd. That's going to aid that position of the North Node for you with your wealth creation, with your confidence, assertiveness, moving towards your goals, getting things done, and believing in thyself, which I truly do believe you are. But I do particularly feel you have some goals involved. And thus the reason that sometimes we could even look to it that, we don't want to work forever. We do want purpose, but we don't want to work forever. So if that particular is your goal, you can be saying, okay, how can I better use this? How can I better pour out that energy in a very short term to achieve my goal, be it it's an investment property or it's a money portfolio, a wage increase or a money management. That is going to aid us. Saturn is also aiding you in this predicament. We do tend to find wealth energy in that position can be quite, it's almost like with the Neptune energy, it can run through your fingers. Saturn's helping you redirect that and actually hone it in to have confidence in yourself, to be assertive and to be able to build on that net worth. Now, we've dealt with the moons. We're looking at your romance. How do we deal with this romantic sector? Now, as I mentioned previously, I do particularly feel this can be a very strong energy of blast from the past. Now, that does not mean that if you are coupled, it doesn't mean that people from the past won't come back. In fact, they can. And that doesn't mean you're going to entertain it, but it's common for these things to happen, even more so because we are having a full moon in Capricorn and Pluto in the house of Capricorn. A lot more old situations cropping back up, be it as a physical memory, a conflict that you've had with a partner, a person from the past coming back. It's coming back to be restructured. It's like, right, is everything in its order? Is everything working as planned? For some of you, it can be. Am I ready? People coming back. Has the situation changed? Do we have the same values? And it doesn't have to be that we have the same values. Are we working together as a team? Am I ready for love? Has this person worked things out? Have I? This is a big time of change. This is not a good time to get married from evidence and study. Venus retrograde is the worst time you could do that. If you can pause till September and beyond, better time, because September 4th, we have Venus going direct. There'll still be a little bit of a shadow. It tends to become more successful after we've gone through that transformation, like a negotiation, metaphorically. And then we go, okay, we're both on the same page. Great, that vibration's great. And we can make those decisions as it moves direct. We will see during this transit at a collective level, not at a personal level, at a collective level, divorces, reconciliations, endings, new beginnings, businesses deciding that they're closing shop, people returning to value systems that they once did. And really, from a Venus point of view, we also can be looking at beauty. This can be celebrities, kings, queens, leaders in very different lights. endings and new beginnings. So keep an eye on social media. I definitely do predict you will see that. You personally can have a very passionate time. Now, Mars moving into your 7th house is not a bad thing. Couples and singles will experience this. Sacral chakra will be heightened, which does mean passion will be high. If there is conflict between you and your partner, it can feel like you are airing your dirty laundry. Pre-warned, forearmed, tension can run high. If you do feel that things are not going according to plan, the one benefit is Saturn currently is retrograde in your 1st house, and so is Neptune. So you're going to look at things quite realistically, especially with Mars and Virgo, if you can keep your cool. I do think this renegotiation is going to aid you, but passion also can be a great thing. It can be more chemistry, people being very attracted to you, you actually caring for yourself and going, right, I've got to get back into that self-care. I need to get myself back out there. Or within a connection, really looking at it and going, okay, how can I restructure my daily routine so I can be open to love, open to my friendship groups, looking at my contracts and where do I stand in the mix of this? Because I feel everyone individually, as well as your sign, is very much going through a personal change. So if we can be in awareness of that, you're going to navigate connections a lot better. Okay, your career zone is going to be pretty lit up. The full moon in Capricorn can be a big change. For some of you, this can mean a pay rise, I would say, in the wealth sector. For some of you, a large project, there may be a close date for it. So it could be that you've had a lot of work and it's been bang, bang, bang. And I feel it'll be up to the moon in Capricorn. However, this also can be old projects coming back on the table in a different fashion, doing things differently, managing things differently, running things differently. This also can be some superiors at work leaving. I also feel, yeah, definitely, I just keep doing things differently. This can be new staff, this can be new colleagues, this can be new management, could be managers leaving. You also could feel, am I in the right role for some of you? The other thing is, with Venus in retrograde, you're going to need to be quite organized. There can be some delays, especially if it links to a product and you're a physical business. There can be delays with products arriving. It can be really doing stock take and looking at what you do have. It can be beautifying and getting, using this time to actually get into some sense of structure and routine. You also could have people off sick. Okay. As we do move towards Mars and Virgo, it's going to be very busy. Your contract sector is going to be very busy. You can be very assertive. Assertiveness isn't a bad thing, but looking at details and seeing the value, you will have an eye for detail, and this will be your one blessing. So look at it from that point of view. I would say be careful of aggressiveness. I don't feel that, that will aid. I do feel many of you in your career sector, be it you're physically running a business. If you are running a business, use Venus retrograde to restructure. Use it to beautify the look, the website, the products, really looking at what's working and trying to have patience, because there can be, if you're seeing something is really hot to trot, generally it's Venus, okay? So it's the Venus energy. Like I said, the only one key area I would potentially warn you on would be the fact that Mars is entering into your 7th house of contracts. There can be disputes or disagreements. You may need to be quite assertive, potentially try not to be aggressive. The other thing is your busyness as we reach the 28th, any tidy up that you need to deal with or any logical point of views, I do feel you will be more clear and busy doing such. But yet again, from mid-month and beyond, especially come the 28th, there could be some information that comes through. And I do particularly feel you're going to have a more clearer perspective and you're going to be quite focused on structure and routine. It's one thing that's going to keep you sane during the month of July. Now, your wealth sector, big bills maybe. I do particularly feel some of you have some major plans. And I think Lady Luck very much is on your side. Could there be a big expense? Yes. The only thing that potentially could hinder you is if you feel, hey, psychologically, I'm really not feeling maybe my career sector and I want to transition. If you can, try to do it in the first 2 weeks, or if you can delay, the best time to do such, I would say, is by, and I'll re-mention this each month as we do recheck it with the other transits involved. Right now in the mix, if you know, I would be already taking those steps. The other thing is, sometimes taking a break is as good, having a break and holiday can actually refresh us. It's like, are we caring for ourselves? Are we having a break? Or can it be just a new system that we use? The other thing is, on the wealth level, there can be a large expense. Now, some of you could be tying a debt up. Some of you also could get a pay rise. So your income to a degree is changing. It's like going from one tier level to another. The other thing is, there could be some situations with groups and friends that is causing a bit of issues for you spiritually. And maybe you do have a lot on your plate, okay? But others of you, I do feel there's massive goals. This could be deciding to purchase a investment property. This could be a goal that you have over the next 2 years. Whatever it is, I do really see you looking at gyms and health kicks and money that you're going to invest in self to build you back up. We do also, with that moon, what you can tend to find is, especially if you are dealing with teeth and bones, Saturn also links to that. Okay, so you could have some expenses relating to teeth or aches and pains with your bones, and large investments. So this could be, okay, I'm signing on the dotted line. This is what I'm wanting. This could also be a physical contract. Caring for your health during this time, I would really highly stress that you can be looking at a very busy routine. And so budget also can come into a routine, especially if you're wanting to get somewhere. I would say with your wealth, a lot of you more than likely are going to be looking at budgets this month, especially by mid-month. Now, on the up and up, I do feel as the North Node moves, opportunity is going to come. You could meditate upon it, as we do have Chiron retrograde. And if you are feeling uncertain, articulating such to individuals, around you, of what your ideas are, what your plans, be it it's based around a career, a business, or a love interest, wherever that's landing, whatever you're doing, I do feel communication is going to be the key. But really, knowing that this area is going to be quite highlighted for you can be beneficial. Now, as for the wellness zone, like mentioned, very much to do with, I would say, trying not to eat on the run. All right. Are there possibilities of feeling run down for your zodiac sign? Yes. Keep your fluid up. Try to find healthy measures to deal with your stress. Saturn and Neptune are retrograde in your first house. So sometimes it's like an engine, really, we're fine tuning it. So knowing where the astrology hits, getting our chakras. I'm also a psychic medium, a soul coach. What will work for you will be fluid, being aware of your stress, knowing when to stop, and earthing yourself. So if you feel you have a lot of pressure built up, jog on the spot for a bit, get grounded, get out in the garden, clear out white noise. Be present for a moment. If it has to be having a cup of tea in the morning and just, not even doing anything, just having 5 minutes to self, really do such. Anything that feels off, this is a fantastic time to A, discover it, and to B, to get it sorted. Looking after our heart chakra, especially if you are, someone that has situations to that degree, because we do look at Leo in astrology as the heart energy, and it will be retrograde initially. Mars will be there until it moves into Virgo, which is on the 10th, I believe. Let's double check. Yes, the 10th. So from the beginning of the month until the 10th, be careful. Also with Venus there, eating good foods that can really support the heart strength, which would be the green food groups, can be fish, fatty acids. Again, always follow professional advice, especially if you currently are seeing, we've got wealth in there, especially if you are directly seeing a practitioner. Always follow their direct advice over mine anytime. Another thing I can say is you may be extremely busy mid-month. If you are hitting the gym, make sure to stretch. Also, anything that's going to really boost the immunity, I do tend to find when Chiron is retrograde, we can get more rundown wherever you are in the world. For us in Western Australia, we're in winter. So again, eating those food groups that are boosting our immunity. We also will directly see weather patterns funky because both Saturn and Neptune are retrograde. And the other transits surrounding, especially with Venus, we can tend to find during a Venus retrograde that damages on crops can happen and things to that degree. So making sure that we're not going to extremes with spending, making sure that we're self-resourceful where we can be, if that's even a word. And it's usually as Venus goes direct, so probably around, I would say, if there would be limitations on things, it'll be more September. If you do want some support morally, emotionally, or want to join us, you can come through to YouTube. We do have the Mind Body Soul Hub, which I'm touching base with them daily within the YouTube Members Hub. We are going to be coaching individuals, supporting through the transits, and giving any tips that we feel you may need. If you want to join us, come through and join our membership. Take care, beautifuls, and I'll see you next month.